Hey everybody, welcome to Morphin Grid. I am Josh.
I'm Jake.
And this is episode 24. We are going to be watching the Power Rangers episode, The Spitflower.
Yes. I expect some spitting, some flowering,
Some the-ing?
some articles. Who knows?
Definitely can't
We're going to go nuts. So if you're new here, how's it going? Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming. What we're going to do is we're going to pause the recording. We're going to watch an episode of Power Rangers, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. You can watch along too. It's on Netflix. There are multiple DVDs out. This, I believe, is Volume 1.
This is Season 1, Volume 1.
Season 1, Volume
Disc
1.
3 of Season 1, Volume 1.
So if you want to buy the DVDs individually, it's probably a lot cheaper just to buy the
It
set
is.
of Mighty
I did the
Morphin.
math.
Yeah.
That's why I have the 3 box sets and not any of the volumes.
So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So we're gonna watch that.
The 4th box set just came out.
I know SPD's in it.
So is like Mystic Force, which is a weird one that I want to watch.
Mystic Force is really weird. SPD is bonkers. I love it. So
I got to find a couple $100.
yeah, or the price can just go down either way. But enough about our purchasing habits.
It's Morphin time!
And we're back. We just watched the Spitflower.
Yep, see you guys next week.
Josh is giving visual cues on an audio podcast.
I am?
So like,
I'm just... You said we watched the Spitflower, then we both didn't say anything, so I just nodded.
I was
like,
throwing it to you.
did.
I panicked. I haven't come back from one in a while.
Maybe you should just lead all the time.
No.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know how to come back either.
I don't think we're terrible at this. Why do you listen to us?
Don't say that. Edit that out.
You have to have something better to do than listen to this. You know you're not getting this time back,
That's
right?
an awful way to get listeners. You're terrible. You are really terrible at this.
I'll cut it or put it after the credits because who listens to that anyway? Anyway, now that you're here,
if you guys stop at the credits, there's always fun little things at the end.
There's always outtakes because this isn't just one live take. We're really bad at talking, so I have to Frankenstein it together. But you're here now. You're listening to this.
Internet, where do they find us?
Where can you find us on the internet? Good question, Josh. Morphingrid.tumblr.com.
Did you forget?
I had to load them up. Morphingrid.tumblr.com. You can email us at littleidiots.morphingrid@gmail.com, or you can Twitter at us on Twitter, in point of fact, at Morphingrid. It's a weird way to say that. I'm having a weird episode.
All right, well, let's just get through it.
So let's just talk about Power Rangers. Also, we're on iTunes. Leave us a rating or review if you feel like it. Thanks. So, jumping right in, we start with Kim and Tommy hanging out. Actually, we don't start on that. We start on an aerial shot of the juice bar with the very 80s-est music I have heard thus far on Power Rangers.
I don't remember the music.
I can't say it.
In my head, it's just that kind of like...
No, it was like that melody, but
like
it was
that background theme song that they have.
Yeah, it was that melody, but it was like really synthed up. It's just I was like, am I in the 80s?
It's because it's Young Love.
Because I was thinking
it's got to have a little more punch to it.
I was thinking 93 is basically just like, how do we be the 90s now?
It's the end of the 80s part 2.
Because like, I have a theory that like the 3 of any year is spent trying to figure out how to be that decade, like what the new thing is, and the 6 is the most that decade you're gonna get.
Oh, that's why Beetleborgs was so 90s.
Because it was 96. It's the 90s-est anything's gonna get.
They're all wearing baggy clothes, and Joe has a backwards yellow hat.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
So, mystery solved. Anyway.
Maybe we can stop talking about it. Probably not, though.
I don't think so. So then we do go to Young Love, where Kimberly and Tommy, and you guys can't see me doing air quotes here, so I'm going to tell you, but this is for Josh. They are working on a float. Wink.
Yeah, it's so wink, wink, nudge, nudge that Ernie is leaving them alone
Ernie's
in the
like,
juice bar.
He's like, I got to get supplies. You two work on your float.
Work on your float. Wink.
So then they work on the float.
Yep, for like a second.
Yeah, because
I'm assuming, because this is going to be important in a minute, that Ernie, let's call him Barney. His name's totally Ernie. Ernie left, and like, because the juice bar's not open, he locked up behind him, right? You would think.
I imagine.
Okay.
Or it's 1993, and he's like, it'll be fine.
I think he locked up behind him.
So then Bulk and Skull
break into the juice bar. So what was their plan? Because they didn't expect Tommy and Kim to be in there.
Maybe they were like, let's go hassle someone. Let's go be punks somewhere. So they're walking around town. They're walking by the juice bar. They see Ernie leave, but the lights are still on.
All right.
And Kim and Tommy are in there. They're like, let's go hassle them because they're nerds and we hate them. They call everybody nerds because Kimberly and Tommy are not.
They're not really
nerds. I mean, Tommy is definitely a karate nerd. Like, you can tell, like, he knows a lot of karate dudes by name and, like, he knows the history of it. You know, like, specific.
So does Jason. He was super excited about Trini's uncle.
About Howard. Howard Kwan?
Howard Kwan.
Howard Kwan. We just decided that it's her uncle on her father's side. So, anyway, before Bulk and Skull break in, they're working on the float. For real. We're going to do a What Was Kimberly Wearing this episode. Because it's good. I've started putting the things.
I saw that. Are you gonna have 3 of them on the last one?
Yeah.
And then two of them?
2 of them last time.
One? No, 3 last time, 2 this time.
2 this time, you're right.
Because she changes at the end. That's how I knew it was a different day.
Yeah, that's the only measure of time that we have, is did Kimberly change? Because sometimes the others don't.
Sometimes they don't.
But if Kimberly does, it's a new day. Or if Trini does, it's because she got something gross on her.
Right.
She had to change. Those are our established canons. So she's wearing jeans. Not her mom jeans, though. These are good-looking jeans. A plaid vest and a pink shirt.
The vest, I believe, is pink plaid.
It is pink plaid. It looks good. I died. They killed the man.
You did. You said that.
Yes. So that's part 1. I wasn't expecting a part 2.
It's very brief.
It's very brief, and I didn't really catch. I had to go back and pause it to see what I was looking at. But yeah, moving on. They're talking about the float. Like, Kimberly designed a float, and they're like, "That's good. You win this contest, this float designing contest." So now you have to make a model of it so we can send it to the float makers. They can 3D print out a giant float or whatever. And so her and Tommy, and later the rest of the gang will, I think, because they show up. They show up later with flowers and glue, paper mache. So they're like talking about it's a world peace parade, and Kimberly,
it's the Power Flower Peace Parade.
And Kimberly is super excited because she's got a float in it. That's exciting.
Well, she won a contest.
She won a contest. I mean, I imagine adults also apply, because it doesn't say it was a high school thing, because there was another float later at the end where they're talking about it, where
right,
they're like, this is from high school, but it's not hers. So I imagine there was one that she won, like the adult level parade. Parade? She didn't win a parade.
She won the whole parade.
She's the best.
She's the best at being a parade.
But then they were going to recycle all the flowers by smushing them up, making them potpourri.
Yes.
Or however, drying them out. I don't know how potpourri is made.
It was funny because she's like, "You're going to recycle all the flowers," and then Tommy said exactly what I was thinking.
Yes, exactly what I was thinking too.
How do you do that? But they're going to just plant them,
put it in mulch,
grind them up, and use them to fertilize a tree. I don't
know. No,
they make potpourri,
which makes sense.
That does make sense.
So then Bulk and Skull come in. I don't know what Bulk and Skull's problem is these last 2 episodes, but they're being jerks. Like an unreasonable amount.
I thought, because when they showed up, I was like, "Oh,
are they gonna?
I thought they were gonna.
Yeah, I thought for a second I was like, that might be an Event Horizon. So, but Bulk is like, "Oh, I'm gonna smell your flower."
Yeah,
thing. And
he pushes Tommy. He's like, "I'm gonna smell your float." nerds.
And so he smells it.
Because I like the way flowers smell.
And he's allergic to this flower. But it seems like he's allergic to all flowers, so why would he smell it?
Maybe he didn't know.
He just found out he's allergic to flowers.
You know, living in California, maybe he'd never smelt a flower before.
Maybe. I don't... You know, Angel Grove Park is surprisingly light on flowers.
It is. It's a lot of grass and trees.
A lot of grass.
Some shrubbery. Not a lot of flowers.
Basketball court. Very few flowers.
One basketball court way
couple
out.
Statues, a cave. A desert adjacent location. Volleyball pit. No flowers that I've seen that I can remember.
Nope.
So yeah, maybe this is the first time. But he smells it. He sneezes right on Skull's face. Like...
The sneeze is off camera, but then they cut back and Skull's face is all wet.
It's dripping, yeah. And then he blows his nose on the handkerchief that Skull keeps around his neck.
Yep.
While he's still wearing it.
Oh, yeah. Best friends.
They have to be.
Best friends infinity ever.
Yes. Oh, God. That's gross. Snot's gross. Snot's a really gross thing. And, because... I'm not going to lie. I've sneezed on people's faces on purpose before.
You jerk.
Yeah, right? It was in high school, and it wasn't like, oh, we all sneeze on each other's faces, but like...
You want to come over? Maybe we'll sneeze on each other's faces while hang out.
It was sort of like a prank that we would play. Like, you'd have to sneeze, and there were two sneeze-based pranks. One was you grab them by the shoulder really quick as they're about to sneeze and go, there's no time for that. And it will kill the sneeze and keep it stuck in your face, and that's the worst.
And you just make this face the whole time.
It's like when you're like, oh... Like, you know, like you lose a sneeze and you're like, oh no, it's still in there. I need to get it out. But if someone does that to you, it's annoying.
It's mean.
So it was a prank we played on each other because we were kids and we were mean. The other one was you had to sneeze and you tap on someone's shoulder and they looked at you, you sneeze on. I got Jordan Melhorn so good once. So good. Oh.
We never did anything like that, my friends and I.
No. I had some jerk friends. I was a jerk friend. I'm still a jerk friend. I call you a baby all the time.
You did on a
podcast that you didn't listen to, and then I told you about because I'm still a good friend. Right. Not gonna let that be in secret. I want you to know that I think sometimes you're a baby.
Sometimes I am. I understand.
Today, the first thing you said to me today was, "I'm tired." So you know, there's that. So,
I'm just an old baby. I'm Batista.
You're Batista. Oh, God. Hans Moment, the baby. Where are we? Bulk and Skull leave.
They sneeze. Well, Bulk sneezes out of the juice bar and drags Skull out with him.
Right. Then, do we cut up to Rita for a second?
We must.
I think we do, because she's like, I hate floats! Kill him! And then sends putties down. And these putties go to town on this float.
This is rough.
This is a dramatic episode.
Yeah.
This is like drama for reals. Because the putties attack them, right?
Because at first they're fighting the putties, and the putties are taking like a flower here and there.
And they're in fight the putties mode, right? They're not in stop them from wrecking my float mode. So while they're trying to beat these putties, one particular putty is destroying the float.
He just comes in and just starts wailing on it.
Oh, he does this karate chop hammer fist thing down through it.
He just drags his hand across the side and rips like every flower up, and then he flips the table.
Oh God, it was rough.
You've been pranked.
You've been pranked. We destroyed your float that you worked so hard on. You've been pranked.
So yeah, this is definitely an instance of Rita thinking, I'm going to really screw these kids up. I hate these kids, and I'm going to make them cry. And then, so she does.
She does.
And I think this is the first time, this is what I wanted to talk about, that she's made any one of them cry.
No, I have a note where Kimberly is crying, and I hate that.
Yes, Kimberly is like legit crying.
Yes.
But I want to go back 6...
To how long the fight scene was?
No, I want to go back some episodes. Because Kimberly fell in high school love with Tommy immediately. Right. And then Tommy was turned evil and was a jerk to her. And that did not make her cry. That just made her sad.
Right.
The putties wrecking this float has reduced her to a blubbering mess on the floor.
Yes. And it's hard to watch.
It is a little bit.
Because
Amy Jo Johnson is really good at acting like she's crying.
Her cry face is like, it's that really pretty crying face where you're like, oh my God.
It's not your crying face.
Oh, I am an ugly crier. Did a lot of ugly crying yesterday. Watched the How I Met Your Mother series finale. Oh boy. That was a mess. But yeah, it's like a really pretty cry where you're like, come here. I need to protect you from the dangers of this world. And like the thing that she said, because the others come in and the putties immediately are like, nope, we're done.
Nope, time to go.
Ruined the float.
Putty time limit runs out just in time.
We ruined the float. We're good here. We did our job. And Kimberly just like falls to the ground. She's like,
first Jason yells at the putties. He's like, don't come back here, clayheads.
Yeah. Because he doesn't know yet that, like what they did. And so she's just like in this mess of flowers, like so downtrodden. And they're like, we'll make a new one. And she's like, the deadline is today. We're never going to do it. And Trini is like trying to console her, but like a little poorly. And she's like, there'll be other parades you can get floats.
Well, it's like,
in.
what else can you do? Like,
right. And I get that. I'm getting to something that like, it was sort of a weird moment that I was like, that's it. That's the moment. Because Trini's like, there's going to be other parades that you can make floats for. And Kimberly goes, Rita's just going to wreck those too. And I was like, that's when Rita got to her.
Yep.
That's when she first realized the stakes of being a Power Ranger.
Rita broke Kimberly.
Yeah. It's not always going to be, this guy's eating all the food. Let's kill him. Or like that monster, that knight is hard to beat, or like even something as bad as like, our friend is turned evil and he's trying to kill us. This is like, we've stopped all these things and Rita is still ruining our lives. And now she's attacking me in a more personal way.
Not in like I'm going to kill you so you don't stop me from taking over the world. It's like, I'm going to make you real miserable.
Right, because like the only point of ruining this float is to hurt Kimberly's feelings.
Yep.
There's no other point. It doesn't accomplish anything in the bigger scheme of taking over the planet. It just hurts her feelings. And that is the meanest thing I think Rita has ever done.
Yeah.
And like, you can see it in Kimberly's eyes that she's like, Rita's just going to wreck that float too. And I'm like, that's when she's like, I need to get out. I think this is when she decides, like, the first chance I see.
Right.
The first real opening to get out, I'm going to take. Not the Doomsday opening where Zordon's like, you guys want to stop? Are you good? Because she's like, I can still be a Power Ranger.
Right. There's nothing else going on.
Right.
Like,
but like later on, she's like, I'm about to graduate.
Right.
I can go. This is it. I can leave. This is my chance. Rita's never going to wreck my floats ever again. Oh. Breaks my heart. This is a pretty real episode. Like, the rest of it is pretty standard Power Ranger fare, but
just this opening is really rough. Like,
yeah, because
it made me a little uncomfortable because Rita was just. Jason even called her a witch.
Yeah,
like, and you knew he wanted to say the other one.
Yeah,
and I kind of do too because she was awful.
She's being just like cruel, straight up cruel.
Right, and she's not evil. Like, I mean, she is evil in that she wants to take on the world, but that's not the way she's acting.
Right. Yeah,
she's acting like just a bitter old lady who wants to ruin this pretty girl's life. Oh, it's sad. Anyway, we gotta stop.
Let's move on. We're 22 minutes into recording this, and we haven't talked about anything but Kimberly crying. She kind of storms off, but only up to the bar to like sit there and sulk.
Right.
Because she's like, I just need to be alone for a minute, but like I don't need to be too alone.
Right. But I don't want to be gone.
I don't want to leave, but I just give me a second because everything's the worst right now. And they're like trying to figure out ways to cheer her up, and Trina's like, we could buy her lunch, that'll cheer her up. And Tommy's like, yeah, but I gotta do a thing first.
Yeah, he's like,
that'll cheer her up.
He's like, that'll cheer her up, and he's like, I got an idea, but we'll work on that later. Or something weird like that.
Yeah, it was like, I have a thing that I understand. I know what we can do to fix this, but I have something else I gotta do right now.
Right.
Which is the thing that he can do to fix it. Whatever. He's just being a little shifty because all the evil is not out of him.
He's being a little shifty because he wants to surprise Kim,
right?
But he's still a little evil, so he's being awkwardly shifty about it.
Right.
He does go up to Kim though.
Yeah, and he's like, he's got a trash bag full of flowers. He's like, "Do you want me to drop this off at your house?"
It's full of the float.
The float, yeah. And she's like, "I don't want a reminder of that at my house." She's obviously feeling a little bit better, but like,
yeah,
she's still sad about it. Obviously,
she's like, "Just chuck it. I don't want to see it."
She's like, "Yeah, throw it in the garbage." She didn't say that. She's not from Winchendon. But the way she looks at Tommy, I'm like, "Oh, that girl's smitten."
Oh yeah,
that girl. She's in. She's all in. So Tommy goes away. They are called by Zordon. So they just leave. So Ernie's going to come back and everyone's going to be gone.
Because Tommy goes up to her and he's like, "Hey, the others want to buy you lunch.
I got to do a thing.
I have a thing, so I have to go."
Right. I don't want to pay for your lunch is what he's saying.
Basically.
But Zordon's like, oh, because we jumped up to the moon. And they're like, "This is Spitflower. He spits flowers."
Yeah, because Rita's like, "I need a monster. Give me a monster."
And
Babu's like, "I'm not worthy of suggesting a monster to you."
And Squat's like, "How about a cucumber with bad breath?" Because he's like, "I don't care. I'll
Remember that one time they did make a monster?
Yeah, it was traffic light Razor. But then she goes in and to Finster's little workshop, and he's working on another Pudgy Pig. I feel like
it's the same footage.
I feel like he made Pudgy Pig, and he was like, Rita's like, "We need it. Send it out." And he's like, "It's not done." And then it got destroyed, so he's like, "I'll make another one."
So he's constantly working on
trying to figure out,
Pudgy Pig.
he's trying to like tweak it to make it the best.
Or Pudgy Pig is like a really garbage monster, but he's kind of Finster's favorite.
Right,
so he keeps making.
It's fun to make.
He's like, I like sculpting him with arms coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's stupid. I love it. So she's like, "Whatever, give me a Spitflower." Spitflower eats flowers, spits those flowers out, but now the flowers have teeth on them. They bite people.
They're evil. He makes them evil.
Makes them evil flowers.
You make flowers evil by putting fake vampire fangs into their...
In the American footage. They were animatronic-ish. In
the nucleus. What is that called?
The pistol.
Is that it? That's what the little...
I think so.
Where the nectar is?
It's not pistol. Pistol is a part of the flower. No, that might be.
For the sake of this episode, it's nucleus, because we can't think about it for too long.
So, then we go back down. Zordon's like, "Hey guys, you gotta come in. Rita's ruining everything." So Kimberly's first thought when he's like, "He's gonna eat all the flowers and then destroy everything," and Kimberly's like, "He's gonna destroy all the floats."
Well, Zordon says that she's gonna attack the parade.
How does Zordon know? Where's he getting his info from?
He's fought Rita so many times that he knows her game plan. This is a flower monster. Obviously, it's going to attack the parade because it needs to eat the flowers before it can spit them back out.
Right, he can just see the dominoes. He's like, "Oh, so she sent down putties to attack your float. She's going to destroy all the floats." Right. That's where it's going to end up.
He's a smart guy. He figured it out.
He's a smart guy, but he called them butterflies in the last episode. They were moths.
I never saw them landed because that's how you can tell. Moths have their wings flat. Butterflies keep them up when they land. That's the difference.
They were moths because that's what Rita said. She made them. So.
Rita said they were moths. Everybody else called them butterflies.
Everybody else was wrong. I'm going to go with Rita on this one.
She made them, so yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're hers. So anyway, enough about last episode. We're recording this right after the last one, so. So, yeah. They're like, oh, or they being Zordon, is like, oh, the Spitflower is really, he's strong. He's going to be hard to kill. Avoid his teeth and fangs. Or his teeth and claws. You know, like everything with teeth and claws that wants to attack you. That's just good advice. Kids, avoid teeth and claws. If you given the chance,
definitely
avoid those two things.
I can't think of a situation where you would seek out teeth and claws.
Yeah, there isn't one.
Nope,
just avoid them. So they go down to fight it. They morph. They go down.
Right.
They're immediately hit with vampire flowers, which just stick on them in like random patterns, and like it looks really cool. I think because like they just have flowers stuck to them, and they're like, "Oh god, these flowers!"
It's a memory of Power Rangers that I have from when I first watched it.
It's one of those weird ones that
they're just covered in flowers, writhing on the ground,
and like they're not. It's not like one goes on your belt, one goes here. Every one of them is like a different, randomly applied.
Yeah,
and they're all different types of flowers. I think Jason has a big old sunflower right on over his heart. So that's got to be pretty painful. They're fighting it. Rita says, "Make my monster grow." Unless anything happens in between then that I can't think of.
Not really. They're just fighting it.
Fight it.
He uses the biting flowers to sap their power. And then he charges them. Jason tries to stop him with the sword.
He hits him with their teeth and claws. Because they didn't avoid the one thing that Zordon told them to do. This is a pattern. Because last time this happened, Billy's like, avoid the stinger. And they get hit with the stinger.
Immediately they get hit with the stinger.
So maybe just listen to people when they tell you to watch out for things. But he's like, make my monster grow. So he grows and they're like, we got to get these flowers off us. So they start chucking these flowers on the ground with like venom. They're like, ugh, get them all off. It's a really neat visual, or I mean not a visual, a testament to the acting or overacting, I guess, of the original suit actors.
Right.
That they are fighting these flowers as if they were real monsters.
Oh yeah.
Like they are throwing them off. Like if they don't, they'll die. And I think it's a nice touch because they could just be like, just brush them off.
Right.
But they are like ripping them off, being really animated about it. I thought it was pretty neat.
It is. It's cool.
So then we cut to Tommy, who's in Billy's lab.
He's in the garage.
The garage. Or, no, there's a Megazord fight first, right? No, they never...
No.
They never...
They just...
Yeah, we
Mega
just
Dragon
cut
Zord immediately.
Because he's got some paint, and he's gluing things.
Right, but you can't see what he's working on because there's something cleverly obstructing
There's a bench in the way.
Yeah.
Or something. Uncle Howard's medicine set. Like that one time he just had it on the thing. Don't touch this. Anyway, then Zordon calls him. Or maybe the Rangers call Tommy?
I think Zordon does.
So I was like, hey, they're still terrible. They need your help. This is a new theme.
They're awful. It's a good thing Rita made you.
Imagine if she had this monster but without Tommy. They just have to figure out how to kill him.
They would lose.
Probably.
Making the Green Ranger is the worst thing Rita's ever done.
Yeah, I think we talked about that. It's the worst decision that any bad guy has ever made. Is by making the most powerful Ranger who will stick with being a Ranger the longest.
Right.
Yep. Good job, guys.
20 years later, he comes back.
He's still Power Ranging.
Yep.
So then they just immediately go to Mega Dragon Zord. But everybody jumps into it except Tommy. Everyone is piloting the Mega Dragon Zord as if it was the Megazord except Tommy.
Except for Tommy, even though most of it is his Zord.
Even though the base of it... That was me. That's me being all the way up in your business. Even though the base of it is the Dragon Zord.
Well, he doesn't... He just controls it with his flute. Oh, that one thing happened when Tommy gets there is that they're all being attacked by giant Spitflower, and he blasts it with his dragon dagger to knock it back.
Is that the thing that you were like, I'm going to...
No, I wanted to talk about how destroying her float made her cry, but making her boyfriend hate her didn't.
Wasn't her boyfriend yet.
Well, I mean, she basically thought he was.
I think the thing about that was Trini going, girl power,
Right.
And her being like, you're right, he's a jerk. He's a cute jerk, but whatever. And then...
And I wanted to talk about... This is the first time she's really made anyone cry.
Yeah, she's being... Yeah.
Just by being a jerk. Not even doing any... it doesn't further her plan to take over the world. It just...
Yeah, exactly.
It just makes Kimberly cry.
Yeah.
We're backtracking. All right, let's keep going.
It's really sad. It's a really sad thing. So they're fighting in the Mega Dragon Zord. It's not really working because they're getting beat up. And then Zordon makes the great decision. Get them out of there, Alpha. Why? They're not losing yet. They weren't losing.
No.
They just weren't winning yet.
Well,
and
he has to talk to them.
So he brings them out, and he
He
goes...
brings them out. This is
This is
good.
the dumb part. This is where Zordon is like a bad guy. I don't know what his plan is.
There's a weird justification to it.
There is, but it doesn't... Okay, so here's what happens. He goes... Every second he eats more flowers and he gets stronger.
Yeah, he literally says he gets stronger by the minute.
So
watch him get stronger on the viewing globe.
Now. Because I took you away from fighting him.
But then he also says
we found his weak spot.
First they need to analyze their last battle with him.
Didn't they do that? Didn't they start out with we analyzed your
No, we have to do that, and then it cuts to something, and then it comes back.
It cuts to his Vulcan skull running around the woods with flowers all on them.
Dying.
Sneezing and being eaten.
They're dying because if the sours, those are flowers. Those are bad flowers. They're sours.
Yes. SOWERS.
SOWER.
Sours?
If the flowers sap your power, if you're a Power Ranger, it's obviously like
It's going to make you weaker, yeah.
it's going to eventually unmorph you, whatever. If you're just a guy, it's killing
It's
you.
going to kill you. It's going to drain your life force.
Bulk and Skull are just the guys.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, also, the flowers with the teeth on them are named at this point. They're called biting bloomers.
Oh,
so
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
so Bulk rips one off of his side from under his jacket, and Paul Schreier's fingers are in it, I think, making it talk at him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny.
Yeah. Then they cut back to the command center.
And then Zordon's like, we analyzed it and found his weak spot.
Couldn't they have just analyzed it as they were fighting so he wouldn't get... Now he's stronger. But then he shrunk also. Because then they just beat him in a minute. They're like, all right, go beat him, guys, now that you know where his weak spot is.
His weak spot's the big giant sack on his throat.
The giant gullet, yeah.
And then Jason's like, hey, Kimberly, can you hit that giant gullet with your bow? And she's like, oh, yeah.
I'm going to make Rita pay. So they go to teleport away, and they're like, Tommy, not you. In case they screw up again.
Zordon's like, no, Tommy, if they fail, you're our only hope.
And Tommy's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like
he's even like, all right. I guess.
He shrugs.
That's kind of weird, Zordon. Because he never made any of the other ones stay back when it was only the 5 of them.
Right.
He was never like, no, Jason, wait. If they don't make it, then we need you.
That's weird. Zordon's being weird. He's been weird basically the whole time, but
now we're just noticing it.
Picking it up on it more. So they beat him with the power cannon.
Kimberly shoots him in his mouth because hitting his weak point doesn't defeat him. It just makes him not as strong.
It breaks. It's the off button for God mode.
Right.
Basically.
It reverts him back to his super powerful state.
Right. Where they murk him with the power cannon.
Just immediately.
And then Tommy's like, then cut back to the command center where Tommy's like, yeah.
He's all morphed still in his garbage
Alpha,
shield.
I need your help with something.
He's like, oh yeah, now that we won, Alpha, come back to the garage.
The garage. Billy's communal garage. Or the Angel Grove Park garage.
Right.
Depending on...
So there's a garage in the middle of Angel Grove Park.
Everything else is there. Why not? So then Alpha, he's like, give me that screwdriver. And Alpha hands him like a hammer or whatever.
You need pliers. And Alpha gave him a wrench.
Right. It's a wrench. Alpha, how did you build the command center?
You idiot!
Why are you know what a wrench is? I mean, okay, all right. Let's just take a step back. He doesn't know what a wrench is because his tools are a remote control tied to a pen,
right?
And like things of that nature. So maybe these are just too simple.
Oh, maybe.
And that's why he can't use them.
I'll buy it. Then he asks for the glue, and Alpha grabs the wrong bottle, and then Tommy's like, no, it's that one. So Alpha grabs the glue.
By the glue end.
By the glue stick end.
And then
goes to hand it to him, and he can't let go.
Tommy's like, you're too much.
You're too much.
I can't handle you.
Face palms. And then we cut away. That's the entirety of that scene.
Yeah. Then we cut back to Jason and Zach sparring. Just being friends.
They're chatting while they're sparring.
Yeah, they're just talking about monsters.
Like, pretty loudly.
Yeah.
Jason's like, oh man, we fought a lot of weird monsters, but that one was the worst. Zach's like, yeah, you're right, bro.
Yep.
Their sparring was neat, though.
It was because it was
I like it when they're just hanging out.
Yeah, I would watch that show. Then... Oh, man. Okay, so then it cuts over to the bar where I think Jason and Zach come up pretty shortly after this because Trini and Billy are at the bar. No, truly watch? Truly sighting.
It's a sighting, not a watch, yeah.
So they're watching the parade and they're talking about Kim's float and like how it sucks that it got destroyed.
And I think they mentioned like, oh, I wish we could have convinced Kim to go in person, but because Kimberly doesn't want to go, none of them are going to go.
Right, because they're friends. Solidarity.
I get it.
Yeah. So Billy is such a dork.
I did this after I saw this episode. I've actually done this.
Have you?
Yep.
You watched a parade with binoculars
on
you
the
watched
TV.
the TV with binoculars? Did you feel like you were there?
No, Billy's an idiot.
Billy's
He's a
dork.
nerd.
He's such
He's
a
such a
dork.
nerd.
Like, they're all like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Except Trini, who's like, doesn't really say anything. She's like,
he always does this.
He's like, oh, you.
He always does garbage like this.
Maybe he's just being stupid to make her laugh. He's like, hey, we like him there.
Right.
And she's like, you're an idiot. You.
Come over later.
Come here. Then Tommy and Kimberly walk in. What was Kimberly wearing? Part 2 happens. It's like a floral print dress shorts. Because it's like a dress that goes into shorts.
Right.
We need to figure out what the name of that is. If you know, listeners, if you know what that article of clothing is called, please tell us in some way. Because this is driving me crazy, and I don't even know how to Google it. I don't know what words I would use to Google it.
I want to say like pantsuit, but it's shorts.
It's a short suit.
And the pantsuit isn't all one piece.
Yeah, pantsuit is 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're watching the parade, and Kimberly's like, I thought I said I didn't want to watch the parade. And they're like, yeah, I know.
And Tommy's like, but you have to.
You have to.
But he says it with such a playful smile. Like, he's not being abused. Like, you have to because I said so.
Watch it or else.
He's like, but you have to. He's like,
Because
I did a thing. Come on.
Come on. So what happens? The float Kimberly designed comes floating up, driving up.
Now, Kimberly changed. So this is the next day. So the deadline to submit your model for this float is a day before. They're going to make they're going to make a whole float in less than 12 hours.
Maybe 24, because it was afternoon when they were at.
Okay,
when they
all
were
right.
making it.
We'll give it 24
because they said we'll buy her lunch, right? So it's
right.
new.
Okay.
So now they're back there.
They're back at the juice bar, so it's not school time,
so
but it's light out, so it's after school.
So it's either after school or Saturday.
Or yeah, all right.
Saturday, Sunday.
Right, because the juice bar isn't only open on school days.
Right. That's where they get most of their business from, the school kids. So it's going to be even hotter on the weekends.
Right.
So yeah, 24, 28 hours tops to make all of these floats if the deadline for all of them.
Right.
/ Kimberly waited way too long to turn it in. She's like, the deadline's today. I should have turned it in 3 months ago.
But, you know, she's a Power Ranger. She has a lot to do.
She is pretty busy. She's
only able to work on it on weekends, even though Tommy cranked it out. Okay, so Tommy...
Okay, they specifically said we can't get enough flowers to finish it.
Right.
Because all these.
Well, I think Tommy took the wreckage and reassembled
it all,
and then
in an afternoon.
If the other guys brought flowers with them, so he took those too. So he had enough. Kimberly was just so downtrodden that she didn't want to worry about it.
Maybe, yeah, because
she was no. She was just making up to. They were definitely not going to be able to.
Because I remember every time our we're going to record 3 podcasts today, and one of them gets eaten. We're like, that's it. We'll do it later.
Yep.
So I understand that. Also, Tommy has a new characteristic, and that's crafty.
Yeah.
Tommy is not just a karate dude. He also is really good at putting floats together.
Right. We get the fight with the putties that hangs on Tommy a lot.
Yeah.
But we don't.
He does a forple kick. Quadruple. That's what I should have said. But I said forple.
He does a lot of cool stuff. He does like a tornado enziguri and then ducks under another one who jumps over him. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if Power Rangers could have made it without him.
But so Kimberly is like, you did it. Oh my God. Everything's better now. And then Bulk and Skull come in with a bunch of Band-Aids all over them for being eaten to death. And
covering their flower bites.
And they're like, the Rangers are mad. They're like, what are you doing here? And they're like, well, maybe we want to watch the parade.
But they can also just be at the juice bar.
Yeah, like you could just be here. Like you don't have like.
There's only the one time they've ever just been mean.
Yeah.
And that was like 10 episodes, 14 episodes ago.
About 10, I think. Yeah.
But other than that, they're just like inconvenient.
Right. So yeah, like they don't need...
And like the Rangers always seem to instigate it.
Yeah.
Because like they walked into the juice bar and immediately were like, "Wait, hey, what are you doing here? Across the room over there,
not bothering us yet."
I mean, I don't mean that they instigate it all the time, because obviously there's scenes of
Bulk and
Skull doing the same thing.
You know, like
sitting across the juice bar, going, "How could we mess with the nerds?"
Right.
Let's climb a rope
I don't
and
know,
then pull the ceiling down.
It's a weird thing because they just walk in and they're immediately accused of like, no, don't do it. Get out of here. Get out of here. I hate you. And then they go to like storm the bar, and I guess they're gonna beat up everybody.
Or they're gonna sit and watch the parade aggressively. I don't know.
Aggressively watch the parade. But instead, Zach goes, "Hey." They say, "Okay." Tommy and Jason get up, and they're like, "You need to be here, or you don't need to be."
Because they're the bouncers of the juice bar.
I feel like I don't remember, but I feel like Bulk and Skull said like, I don't know, something mean to Kimberly or to something that like made Jason and Tommy want to defend the group in some way. And so they're like, we're going to throw down? Is this going to happen? And instead, Zach's like, hey, how about I do a magic trick? He goes, the hand, it's quicker than the eye. And he has flowers, which Bulk and Skull are terrified of right now because a bunch of them just tried to eat them alive.
Right, they're covered also in bandages that match the colors of the flowers.
Oh, were they? I like
they're
that.
red, yellow, and blue bandages.
Nice. And then so they run away, and then everyone laughs while they watch the parade.
The end.
The end.
Ba, 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 ba.
Final thoughts on the Spitflower. No? Okay.
I'm not good at final thoughts. You always have to just say something, and then I can play off that. I'm a color commentator, Jake. I'm not a play-by-play.
I know. That's why I take the notes.
I'm a follower. I'm not a leader.
So, obviously, we talked about it a lot in the beginning, but this is a heavy episode, and I want it to go back to
It's a heavy episode for like 8 minutes.
Right, but like that's still like the amount of drama that we have gotten to, like the other 23 episodes are not as drama filled as the first 8 minutes of this one. It's
an episode like this that makes you realize how bad Beetleborgs is in comparison.
Yeah,
because Beetleborgs, just by its nature, can't have an episode like this.
No, because they're like
because every part of it is too goofy.
Yeah, even like when Frankenbeans is like being an abusive father. You're like, oh,
it's played for
played
for laughs.
Exactly,
like,
it's really weird. This one is like there was no music during Kimberly being sad. Like
she was just sitting there crying, and everyone was sad,
and everyone was doing what I do when people cry, and that's wonder how you're gonna fix it.
Yeah,
because I'm terrible at those situations. I'm like, stop. I know something bad happened, but you can't do anything about it now. And then I have to run away because I'm an embarrassing human. So. But yeah, like this is a pretty heavy episode, like, and it's pretty jarring because, like I said,
I really wish that one thing happened in this episode that didn't is that when they were fighting the Spitflower, there was a bunch of putties with him, and Kimberly just murked like 10 of them.
I
just
wish
went in and just didn't do gymnastics or it started decking them in the face.
I wish either that happened or because the putties teleported away, they didn't die. They teleport in, and one putty like locks eyes with her, and he like makes fun of her, like being like, "I'm the one that broke your float,"
right?
And then she rips him to actual pieces,
because
he's made of clay. So she just breaks his arms and
rips his arms off and just beats him down.
Beats
with
him with it.
Ugh.
Like that would have been good if she just got all of her aggression out in one bit. But other than that not happening, I think this is a pretty solid episode.
It's pretty good,
yeah. There's 2 in a row that were pretty solid, and we didn't talk about this one for an hour and a half. So that's
good.
That all? I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Yeah. All right. So, if you want to talk to us online, morphingrid.tumblr.com, or you can email us at littleidiots.morphingrid@gmail.com, or you can talk to us on Twitter at morphingrid. We're on iTunes, where you can leave us a rating and or a review. I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
I think they are. I think if you write a review, you have to have a rating.
But you can just put a rating.
Don't you have to say something? I've never seen just a rating without words.
Neither have I. Maybe you have to do both. I don't know. You don't have to do it.
Whatever.
It's a free country.
Here's what you do. If you don't like us, give us 1 star. I wrote hated it.
Hated it.
If you do like us and you don't know what to say, give us 5 stars or however many stars you think we deserve. Because we have 2 5 stars, so I don't have to pander as hard.
You don't have to. Yeah, you're satisfied. You sated the beast.
Our first review was 5 stars, so thank you so much.
Yes.
Give us however stars you think we deserve, and then write liked it, loved it. It's okay.
It's fine. It'll do in a pinch.
Whatever.
Or don't. You don't have
I mean,
to.
I enjoy reading actual reviews.
Yeah,
I would like a really well thought out one. But if you don't want to, put in the time, I also totally understand.
To be fair, we're not a very well thought out podcast.
No,
we watch an episode and then we just kind of
ramble about it until we're done.
Until we finish at about the 50-minute mark. So that's it. We're gonna leave you now. Thanks for listening, and until next time, may the power protect you.
Why do you laugh when I'm about to go? Why do you hate me? Why do you hate me?
Just go.
I'm gonna just go. I was about to just go, and then you said just go, and then I couldn't go.
Just go.
I can't go if you're gonna keep talking. Just shut up. Just shut up, Jake.